Sicilian defense, canal, main line, 4.Bxd7 plus Nxd7. Intense. That was a serious game. That game was pretty competitive. Both players had an amazing opening. Both players navigated the middle game well. Sharp games are frequently the result of starting with the king's pawn, since it dominates the center and frees up the bishop and queen on the light squares. The c-pawn in the Sicilian defense controls the d4 square. Nf3 moves the knight toward the center in anticipation of a pawn push on d4, where it will be ready to retake the piece if black captures on d4. When black eventually plays nf6, white is prevented from moving the piece to e5 by the opening of the light-squared bishop on d6. bb5 plus forces black react to this early check and prepares for white to castle. bd7 answers the check and challenges the bishop on b5. bxd7 plus trades light-squared bishops, white can castle on the next move. nxd7 captures the bishop, develops the knight toward the center and supports the c5 pawn. This develops a knight from its starting square, activating it. A pawn that was being attacked and had no defenses is now protected by this. It is the final book action. This provides an equal exchange of parts. That's good. This keeps the material balance in check with good commerce. That's good. Backs off. It is ideal. The bishop will be better off as a result of this. It is ideal. The bishop is prepared to grow into a functional square. It is quite good. By doing this, a bishop moves out of its beginning square and into the action. It is quite good. By growing a bishop from its initial square, this activates it. It is quite good. By growing a queen from its beginning square, this activates the queen. That's good. Very precise. It is best. Not the finest, this. It is incorrect. Castling develops a rook while moving the king to a safer position beyond the board's center. Castling to the same side of the board as your adversary helps you escape some of the attacking that comes with castling to the other side. It is ideal. While not a mistake, that is also not the wisest course of action. That's good. This misses a chance to make an attack on a pawn known. It is incorrect. Perfectly on point. It is ideal. This loses a chance to imply that winning a pawn is possible. It is incorrect. This is not the best approach. It is incorrect. There were worse maneuvers, but there were also much better ones. It is incorrect. By moving a rook from its starting square, this activates it. That's good. That's a decent move. That's good. Not the finest, this. It is incorrect. This exchange is fair. It is ideal. It is a fair deal after all captures. It is ideal. This keeps the material balance in check with good commerce. It is ideal. Recaptures. It is ideal. This hits in the middle and prevents the opponent from gaining ground. It is quite good. What I would have advised is that. It is ideal. A rook enters the action after developing outside of its starting square as a result. It is ideal. A wise decision. It is quite good. This is not the best approach. It is incorrect. This exchange is fair. It is ideal. Backs off. It is ideal. Among the best actions. It is quite good. A powerful play. It is quite good. It's alright. That's good. While not a mistake, that is also not the wisest course of action. That's good. That's a decent move. That's good. It's alright. That's good. On the file, the rooks are strategically doubled and forcefully combined. That's good. While not a mistake, that is also not the wisest course of action. That's good. The best choice is this one. It is ideal. Very precise. It is best. That is a logical response. It is quite good. As a result, the rooks are placed in a single file and are able to cooperate to pose a danger. It is ideal. Perfectly on point. It is ideal. A wise decision. It is quite good. That's a decent move. That's good. On the file, the rooks are strategically doubled and forcefully combined. It is ideal. It's alright. That's good. There was only one good move in that position. It is a mistake. What I would have advised is that. It is ideal. There were worse maneuvers, but there were also much better ones. It is incorrect. The best choice is this one. It is ideal. White had the advantage at first, but now they are in the lead. It is incorrect. This doubles the rooks onto a single file, which allows them to team up to create threats. This is the only move that works. It is a great move. This defends the pawn that was attacked. It is ideal. This uses a pawn to attack the center while vying for position. It is ideal. Not the finest, this. It is incorrect. This is the only good move. It is a great move. Among the best actions. It is quite good. Very precise. It is best. A powerful play. It is quite good. While not a mistake, that is also not the wisest course of action. That's good. Perfectly on point. It is ideal. By doing this, the chance to double rooks on a single file is lost. It is incorrect. What I would have advised is that. It is ideal. On the file, the rooks are strategically doubled and forcefully combined. That's good. This misses a chance to link together rooks. It is incorrect. This poses a material threat. There was only one move that was effective, and this wasn't it? It falls flat. This doubles the rooks onto a single file, which allows them to team up to create threats. This is the only good move. This prevents the opponent from being able to win material. It is a great move. The best choice is this one. It is ideal. That's a decent move. That's good. It's alright. That's good. Although the game was nearly tied, Black is now in a losing position. It is incorrect. This missed a move that would have produced a winning position. It is a miss. Although it is possible to achieve equality, this action falls short. There was just one smart move to be made. That falls flat. There was only one good move in that position. It is a miss. This defends the attacked pawn. It is best. By doing this, the chance to double rook on a single file is lost. It is incorrect. This could have been done lot better. It is incorrect. After all captures, this is an equal trade. This was a game-changing move, giving White a winning position. It is a great move. Recaptures. It is ideal. The rook is now on an open file, which helps control squares across the board. It is quite good. While not a mistake, that is also not the wisest course of action. That's good. Very precise. It is best. The pawn is now suitably protected. It is quite good. That was a great move and very hard to find. It is brilliant. A pawn that was being attacked and had no defenses is now protected by this. That's good. That is a logical response. It is quite good. A wise decision. It is quite good. Now that the rook is on an open file, it is easier to control squares all over the board. It is ideal. This requires an open file, a typical technique for rook activation. This poses a fork piece threat. It is quite good. This buys time by putting a knight in danger and getting it to flee. It is ideal. This defends the attacked pawn. It is best. This misses a chance to imply danger in compelling material. It is incorrect. This misses a chance to link together rooks. It is incorrect. Among the best actions. It is quite good. Now that the rook is on an open file, it is easier to control squares all over the board. That's good. That pawn was available for free. It is ideal. On the file, the rooks are strategically doubled and forcefully combined. It is quite good. This puts the opposing rook in a position to lose control of the open file. It is ideal. A powerful play. It is quite good. Perfectly on point. It is ideal. What I would have advised is that. It is ideal. That's a decent move. That's good. It's alright. That's good. This exchange is fair. White is ahead at this point in the endgame. It is ideal. That is a logical response. It is quite good. The rook is now on a square that is more secure. It is ideal. That rook earns material if it is captured. It is quite good. Recaptures. It is ideal. A pawn that was being attacked and had no defenses is now protected by this. It is quite good. A wise decision. It is quite good. Among the best actions. It is quite good. This pushes a passed pawn. It is excellent. Intense. That was a serious game. That game was pretty competitive. Both players had an amazing opening. Both players navigated the middle game well.